Hey listeners, this is Kiyo'jun, and welcome to the Pepper Dynamics Podcast, the unofficial podcast about Pepperdine's Graziadio Business School. Get informed and stay connected with students, faculty, and alumni from the Graziadio Business School. Welcome to the Pepper Dynamics Podcast. I'm your host, Kiyo'jun, and today we have Brandon Liu. He graduated from NYU's Tisch. He worked for Participant and Conan, and we are very excited to have him here today. He started his own Views from NYU, and we are so ready to hear his story. Brandon, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And let's get right into it. So what we want to know is, what skills from your past experience do you want further developed at Pepperdine?
Definitely soft and hard business skills. I received a minor in Business of Entertainment, Media, and Technology. It was a comprehensive minor from Stern School of Business at NYU, and worked in strategy and business development for Participant. And I thought, I want to go and get my MBA and round out that business education.
That's fantastic. And we've both been in the program for 2 months now. It's hard to believe. Do you have any expectations based off of what you've seen so far as a first-year MBA student?
Definitely. I'm excited to meet new people who are interested in, of course, business, faith, and or creative. I have, varying interests, and anybody who is interested in any of those things, I would love to chat with.
You heard it here first. And it's true that, look, we are online learning right now. But nevertheless, I think that there are ways to mitigate that and to still fulfill some of the things that you're looking for. So in these 2 months, what have you found to be an upside and a downside to online-only learning?
I'm going to start with the downside first and with the positive.
Sure.
The downside, definitely the lack of in-person communication, the face-to-face interaction. I feel like, that is something I definitely miss. The upside is, I would say, the efficiency of it all. You don't need to walk from one classroom to another. You can stack networking meetings, and go to a bunch of different events and get involved with different clubs. And so efficiency-wise, it's very helpful not having to commute as well.
Sure. And you spoke of clubs. Are there any clubs you want to shout out? Any organizations that you're interested in or want to be a part of?
Definitely. Well, we just started our program, so I'm still checking them out, but definitely was looking at the Entertainment, Media, and Sports Society, as well as Net Impact as well. They do more like environmental sort of social advocacy kind of work.
Yeah, those are 2 awesome clubs. Recommend for you to check them out at vine.pepperdine.edu if you're a student.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that there were certain things you were looking forward to in person. Is one of those hanging out with some of your friends from the cohort, or were you thinking of different kind of in-person activities?
I think there's getting to work with people like face to face. You have a different kind of synergy than you would, just looking at a bunch of pixels on the screen. I mean, we still try to make the most out of it. There's some certain benefits to having classroom on Zoom, but I definitely, when I talk about the in-person interaction, I definitely mean being able to collaborate with students in person across the table. You can look at a product right in front of you if you're working on a presentation like together. I mean, you can do that online, for example, like screen share, but I think it's just so much easier to communicate with people face to face.
Totally. I mean, breakout rooms are one thing. We get to have our fun in there. We get to be serious and, try to coordinate a group project.
Yeah.
But there's nothing quite like sitting across from someone, sharing some food and having some paper.
Yeah. Breakout rooms are great because then that's a unique opportunity that we normally wouldn't have in the classroom because yeah, you truly break away from the rest of the class, including the professor, and you can have a more intimate conversation with whoever you break out with, and which can lead to, I think, strengthening relationships at, you know, at a faster pace in that way. And yeah, so that's one benefit of at least a digital classroom setting.
Absolutely. And even for people who are shy to, let's say, speak up, if you're in person, you're worried about 1,000 different things, people eavesdropping, sort of being in that classroom environment. But in a breakout room, you're in this void with 2 to 3 other people, and it's manageable. So definitely good point there. Well, other than getting to know people in a void, what would you tell a prospective Pepperdine student to convince them to come to Pepperdine over, let's say, another school?
Oh, definitely. What I'm about to say is something that I've heard from, it's based on what I've heard from other students who have been at some of the other schools, but I can only speak on my own experience, attending Pepperdine. But I've heard that, there's different ways of collaboration between students at different schools. And I know, at least from my experience at Pepperdine, it's been very, very, very collaborative, open, warm, and welcoming. And it's just been great to, connect with people who have similar interests and values. And I feel like those things have really contributed toward a really good, positive, conducive learning environment.
I think a lot of what you said is true. And I think a lot of that is related to your cohort, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
one thing to have educators and instructors that you can relate with, but to have peers that you can, that's another level.
A cohort of which the Kia June is in as well.
Yes, I am. I am in Brandon's cohort. He is my classmate.
Or I am in your cohort.
Sure, it's a
Yeah.
great time. Well, I was wondering,
It's
do you
smaller too. One more thing. It's smaller compared to other cohorts at other schools. So it's more intimate in that way.
in our direct
We have,
cohort there are 8 people, right?
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, definitely intimate. I was wondering, do you think Pepperdine does a good job of like having an environment that allows for us to get close even online? Or do you think that we got lucky?
I have a feeling that it was definitely intentional and strategic the students they chose for our cohort, because we got a couple of creatives in our MBA cohort as well. I know you're interested in your voiceover work. I have creative background from film school. There's another girl who received her bachelor's in acting, actually, and so I think uh, whether that was intentional or not, it's like, and I have a feeling it is. Pepperdine, admissions at least did a stellar job at finding people with similar interests when it comes to both creative and business. And yeah, I really do think they create a great learning environment where we can draw close to one another. I mean, we have our leadership development lecture, and that started out with a workshop before the first week of school, where we go through different exercises as a cohort to bond, get to know each other better. And I felt like that was like a really great experience. I mean, I remember one of the first projects we did was create a commercial, and it had all these other funky creative requirements. And I thought that was that was fun to do with our cohort. My team, we did a rendition of the Fresh Prince rap, selling a magical Pepperdine bag that can give you certain items to meet all your needs. And so, yeah, that was great we don't do stuff like that all the time, of course, through the program, but it was nice to kick it off with something sort of more lighthearted and to bring us together that way.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a personal highlight of mine,
Yeah.
to be
And yours is
honest.
great too. You got to show off some of your great voiceover work
Sure.
or your different voices.
Thank
Hmm.
you. Well, you know what else I noticed in my time in the cohort with you? I noticed that you're always just so positive, Brandon. So this is maybe more
Oh,
of a
thanks.
personal question, but well, you're welcome. Do you have like a mantra to upkeep this? Do you have like a philosophy? What keeps you so positive?
For me personally, I would say definitely my upbringing, which included, I'd say faith, also, as well as the different leadership opportunities I've had. Um, I'll start with faith. I think I'm Christian, and I feel like um, when I'm cheerful and optimistic and positive, I'm able to witness and show. Personally, I'm able to show God's love to other people in that way. So that's something that helps, sustain my energy when it comes to being positive. I'm not perfect. I'm not always 100%, positive 24/7, but I definitely, try to. Um, in terms of leadership and how that has informed um, who I am in being positive, um, I did, scouting when I was younger, and we were taught to be cheerful. It's part of the scout um, law. There are like a bunch of different adjectives that we try to abide by. It's cheerful. Sorry, Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Wow.
It's a bit of a mouthful, but cheerful was one of them, and I always felt like that program definitely taught me how to be positive. Um, I would see, for example, at Eagle Scout projects or other service projects we would do, there would be, the older adults who clearly did not have to do things like get on their hands and knees and like scrub like dirty things and really get their hands dirty and like get really sweaty and like and dirt and grimy and nasty and everything. But they did it with a smile on their face, with being cheerful, trying to exude those things. And I thought that was definitely formative for me growing up to have those leadership, those role models, those older guys setting a good example.
Well, that was very insightful, and I can tell it had a lasting impression on you. I mean, you recited the whole list of qualities. I was not expecting that.
Thanks. It took a second.
I mean, it only took a second. So yeah, well done. And I guess just as a parting question,
Mhm.
if you go through a perturbance during your day, if something negative happens, how do you overcome that? And what advice would you give to someone else to overcome that?
It's a tough one. Well, for me personally, again, I'd say my faith. Prayer is helpful. Um, Definitely practicing gratitude, trying to look at the bright side of things, any silver linings, um, and um, yeah, you know how they say like if we practice gratitude, it usually or it leads to happiness. There's like that whole documentary that talks about that. That's that was one of the key findings. And so gratitude, definitely friends and family are helpful as well. You can surround yourself with a community that um, is supportive, encouraging, uplifting, people who can help keep you accountable, people who can, when you're, feeling low, they can cheer you up. That's definitely helpful. And humor always helps as well. So if there's some sort of way we can incorporate that, um, that's I find that's effective for me as well.
I relate to you there. You're always looking to have a good laugh, and that's one of your best qualities. So,
Oh, thanks.
Brandon, this
You too.
has been, thank you. This has been a pleasure, Brandon.
Same.
So, I really appreciate you coming on. It was a blast, and who knows, maybe we'll have you again sometime.
Thank you. It's been an honor. Thank you, Kia.
Sure thing. Thanks for listening. You just heard Brandon Liu, first year, full-time MBA student at Pepperdine's Graziadio Business School and future leader in the entertainment media space. Remember, we do not see things as they are. We see things as we are. So expand your mind's horizons and explore a different dynamic. The Pepper Dynamics Podcast.